Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 599. Holy cow, we are one episode away from the big 600. We've got the card hobbyist. Good Saturday morning to you. Gonna hang a bit before grass cutting. I did mine yesterday afternoon, and my allergies have come up. What is up, John? Good morning. Ho, 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 says Dan. John says he's gone out on a limb and he likes it already. Better not regret it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, John. Go Badgers. Scotty Dubs is with me. Happy Saturday. Wake up wishing it was next Saturday. Ready to make the drive to Madison. Scott's my guy from Dubuque, Iowa. Makes the drive over next Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel. My computer just cut out on me, or my video did. So next Saturday, June 25th, Madison Card Show, 120 tables, free admission. Show runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So looking forward to that. Going to be a good time. Cardman Dan, what is up? Good morning to you. It's a great day. Absolutely. It got my yard work done yesterday. Going to spend a couple hours this morning doing some shipping, and then I'm going to head to Skokie, Illinois, which is just a fun town name to say. Skokie, Illinois. My buddy Scott lives in Skokie. Scott and Skokie sounds like AM 670 call a sports talk radio calling Scott from Skokie on the line. So Scott was a longtime front office employee with the Chicago Cubs. He has a bunch of stuff that he wants to sell. So I'm going to help him get started on eBay. He wants to do a Cubs podcast with former players, which I'm kind of stoked about, possibly starting that. So maybe do a test run today. So that's on my agenda for today, and then getting set and then hammered down for next Saturday with the Madison Card Show. I like to keep it positive on this show, but something just really rubbed me the wrong way yesterday when I saw it pop up on Twitter. Terry, what's up? Good morning. And that's another bad breaker. And I think what annoys me the most about bad breakers is it gives good breakers a bad name. It just gives breakers a bad name overall. And I think I think breaking and breakers, I think they're good for the hobby. I use breakers when it comes to products like Bowman Draft, Elite Extra Edition, because like when it comes to Bowman, I don't want to spend, even though I love Bowman, and look behind me, they multiplied overnight. They're like gremlins. And so I don't want to spend $400 on a Bowman hobby box. I'll just buy into a team break or Elite Extra Edition. I have, it really, the non-Cubs do nothing for me, but if it's a good checklist for Cubs on Elite Extra Edition, I'm all in. So I do get into breaks maybe twice a year, and it's usually Bowman and Elite Extra Edition. And I think they're great for team collectors. If it's a player break, which the topic today is, it was a player break that we're going to touch on. So I think they are good, but there's a lot just with like, when there's an influx, no matter what it is, an influx of breakers, an influx of collectors, I'll use that term loosely, people in cards, because sometimes look at what it brought in a year ago, 2 years ago. We talk about, well, the prices of everything are down. Are they? Or are they just down from a year ago? Because, well, duh, prices went parabolic a year ago. I think prices are right. The price is right. Prices are right. They've righted themselves. Are prices down from 2019? You'd probably be surprised. And I'm talking, I think when you have to compare that, you have to, ultra moderns out the window because, well, some of the cards that have dropped in prices were created after 2019. But, take a look at, Jordans or mantles. Look at where the price was in 2019. And this is anecdotal. So if somebody has quick access and wants to cross-check just take a sampling of, I don't know, Mickey Mantle or Michael Jordan, compare it to June 2019, because we want to get before the pandemic surge. Heck, even June 2020. I don't think at this time in 2020, the craze hadn't yet begun. It was teetering. It was teetering because early June of 2020, I could still find basketball on shelves. Early June 2020. Around this time is when I started seeing people wait in my local Target stores, and I was like shocked. It's something I won't forget. I remember the very first time that I saw people standing around waiting for the vendor. It was at the Target in Hilldale, which is like a shopping area in Madison. And I walked in, and this is the one, it's underground parking, and then you have to take the escalator to go up into the store. It's a big Target, and then you have to walk halfway across. The card section's like in the middle of the store next to the cash registers. And I'm like, oh, there's somebody standing there waiting. Oh, there's 4 others. There's 5 people standing here waiting for the card vendor. Something that you won't forget. That was probably actually around this time. I'll have to go back and look at my old tweets to see, because I'm sure I tweeted about it because it was something new. Nobody was waiting for the vendor in May or April of 2020, and certainly not before that. So I'd be curious on, what was, and not like a rookie card, but like a 1955 Bowman Mickey Mantle in like a PSA 3. What did that sell for in 2019? And what is that selling for today or within the last couple months? And I think most people would be surprised because everybody's like, oh, the prices are down. The prices are down. So anyway, we've got Cooter with us. Good morning, Cooter. We've got Herman. What is up? Leo says the Cubs finally found a win yesterday. They broke a 10 game losing streak. What a mess it is on the north side of Chicago. Breakers, break dancers, all the same to John. Herman says that dude's a clown. We're talking about CardFanz, and that we're going to get into bad breakers, and they're the new poster child of bad breakers. John says, do you have to pay more for Cubs in a break? I don't know what I don't know what you mean by that, but I would say typically Cubs are higher priced because there's more demand for Cubs. So typically there's a premium. There's like it's like the Yankees, they're always going to be higher priced, but they also have, better, higher selling cards. So there's that, there's the tax, the premium on those. Card Hobbyist said, dang, Cubs ending my Braves win streak. And hey, dang, your Braves are ending my Cubs losing streak. Surprising shutout with how good the Braves offense has been recently. Cooter says, let's not see the headline, Madison, Wisconsin man crushed in a collapse of Bowman U Tower, right? Ed says, good morning. What is up, Ed? I'll be listening on the lawnmower. So we've got it's Yard Work Saturday. Yard Work Saturday. Ed's going to go out. Actually, Ed's out right now mowing the lawn. Bearded Bookworm, what is up? I've never participated in a break. Can you run through strategy to source cards through a break? Like how to know how much to spend per team? Oh, that's a great question. That is a great question since we're on the topic of breaks. Basically, I have my set of breakers that Real Breaks is my number one favorite breakers. I know Ryan and Tom personally. Tom actually sets up at my card show here in Madison. He'll be there next Saturday, and he's awesome deals on hobby boxes, like cheaper than Blowout. So they're like my go-to. And I think people that are in breaks, they have their go-to. And there's a ton of great breakers out there. Like I mentioned, Real Breaks, awesome breakers. Mojo Break, awesome breakers. And I'm sure I'm missing dozens and dozens. So that's typically I go to, people I know, or if somebody follows me on Twitter, they're like, hey, I've got this break. I'll check them out, see if the Cubs are available. I'll look at pricing, and then I start looking at pricing. And like with Real Breaks, I don't have to price check on them because I know they're going to be fair and they're going to be competitive. And, number one, they're trustworthy. So even if they are like $10 higher than the next guy, I know them and I trust them. So I go with what I know, who I know, and then I'll start pricing. However, the issue with Real Breaks is they're so damn good that everybody uses them. And there's like, when Bowman comes out, there's like, they like say 9 a.m. we're going to release this product and it's pick your team. And I mean, literally within 1 or 2 minutes of that post going live, there'll be 5 or 6 claims on the Cubs. So you have to be like super fast. I've been able to, I've had the fastest fingers a couple times on their breaks. But if I'm shut out, I have to look at other avenues. And I do go on eBay, and I know eBay's breaking on eBay, finding a breaker on eBay can still be the Wild West. But sometimes I take my chances before I bid. I will look at their feedback. If it's a breaker that has like 200 feedback, I'm less apt to use them because they're just not. That's about the only thing that I really check feedback on eBay is with breakers. If they have a lower feedback score, I'm not going to give them the chance. Let other people take that chance. And I'll swoop in when they, have several thousand feedback. So those are some of the things that I look for. Number one, it's people I know that I trust. And then if it's somebody that I don't know, I'll look around at pricing. If it's an eBay auction, my auction strategy when I'm bidding, I just put my highest bid. Say it's Bowman. I want to spend $120 on this break. That's basically the going rate for Bowman breaks. I'm going to put my highest bid $120. Let it ride. If I get outbid, I get outbid. If I win it for $108, hey, I just saved $12 over what I was willing to spend. So that's just kind of shop around, look at what others are doing. For check the reputable dealers first when you price check. Check Real Breaks, check Mojo Break. What's Midwest, I think is a really good one. So those are some of the tips that I can offer and how I handle it. Jenny's with us. What is up? Waiting around for the show to start. I'm going to try to sneak in early. Very nice. I have another first-time dealer that I booked for the Madison show next weekend. He's coming in from Illinois next Saturday. And I said the show officially starts at 9. You can start setting up as early as 7, maybe even 6. I'm usually there at 6 or 6:30. But I will say I have some people that typically walk the show as early as 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, which I don't mind as long as they're respectful to the dealers that are setting up. And it's not like I don't have an abundance of people walking the show floor before the show begins. If that starts to be the case, which I don't think here in the summer months, we're going to have that issue. I'm cool with people walking the floor early. So I did say, I'm like, by the way, I've usually got a few guys that walk the show floor an hour to 90 minutes ahead of time. So if you're there early and set up early, you might make some early sales. He was a fan of that. I know some dealers don't like that, which is okay. But how I look at it is you make more money because you're more likely to make sales before the show starts if you allow people to walk the floor than say the last hour of the show, and especially an hour after the show, because especially now it's summertime, people don't want to stick around in a hotel on a Saturday afternoon. What's up, Zach and Porter in the house? Steph says, congrats on 600. Not quite there. Not quite there. Tomorrow. Let's see. Dear Lord at Bowman U running the presses. I just clear the shelves. I did my retail run yesterday. I did a retail run just because I wanted to get out of the house. And I went to the first Walmart. I went to 2 Walmarts. The first Walmart I went to, no Bowman U football, but they had Bowman U basketball, which I am not high on. I did a break. I did one I bought 3 blaster boxes. I ripped one. I'll probably rip the other 2 during the NBA draft, which is coming up in a week or 2. But here's why I like Bowman U football better than Bowman U basketball. The football market is hotter than basketball. Number 1. Number 2, the checklist is much stronger football. The top football prospects are in Bowman U football. That's not the case for Bowman U basketball. I think like 3 of the top 4 NBA draft prospects are not in Bowman U basketball. But it was still a fun rip, and I put some of the refractors up on eBay in my store last night. So I picked up those 3 Bowman U basketball blasters. They did not have any football. It was fully stocked with the exception of a big, wide open shelf space. And I looked at the tag, and you guessed it, NFL Prism had been stocked there. My buddy Ryan got the intel. He said there were 11 guys waiting for the vendor, and they took it all, which, hey, early bird gets the worm, right? Steph says it looks like Pro said. Beware of conga rats. What's up, Abraham? Good morning. Happy Father's Day Eve. Thank you. Although I'm not I'm a dog father. That sounds the dog father. What was worse, seeing people waiting for card vendors or waiting for the toilet paper to be restocked? Oh, that was bad. Because we go to Costco for our toilet paper, and they were always out of stock. We were down to like 1 roll, and it's like, uh-oh. I hope we have Kleenex on standby, right? Let's see. Herman said they also broke a 15-game winning streak. I did not realize the Braves were winning that many games. NL East on steroids lately. Jenny says, Stacy just said pretty soon Bo going to have to be in his bathroom doing his videos because he's going to have the rest of the house packed with Bowman U, right? I know. Well, since I'm driving over to Skokie, I'll probably take like the highways. I hate interstate. And Skokie's like in that weird, I guess I could go to Milwaukee and down, but I hate that drive. I just hate that drive to Milwaukee. I don't know why. So I'll probably go through like Whitewater or Janesville and go across. If I come across some Bowman U football, I some space. I got look at right there. I've got a space. I could fit some more up there. Let's see. I thought higher priced teams are because they have more better prospects. That's exactly what it is. But it's also, that's the main reason. The pricing is based on the checklist. But you're also going to have a premium on, even if the Cubs have a weak checklist, it's going to be higher priced than, say, the Royals because it's that team premium. Same goes with Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers. But yes, number 1, the reason why the pricing is the way it is because of the checklist. Better go rescue the cards. Driving around with the top down in the Jeep. It is a beautiful day. It's a little chilly here. It's only 61 degrees right now, hence the long sleeves. I look at it's only going to be in the, I think, low 70s here, low to mid 70s. Steph says, really need to drop my top. Cardman Dan says, don't forget about the best breaker in the SEC, Hot Hands Herman. There's Herman with the laugh. So all team slots cost the same and breaks, figured some would cost more. Yes. So no, they do not cost the same. They are different prices. So, and I don't even know what pricing is for like a product right now since I don't do breaks, but, I know Bowman because I asked Tom because I was going to get into a Bowman break, but then I bought a bunch of blasters and I'm like, I don't want to spend the money on a break. And I think it was like 200 a case break. So 12 boxes, pick your team Cubs for 2022 Bowman. I think was in the $200, like 200, 250, which was actually less than I had expected. I thought it was going to be a little higher because the case prices. And of course you kind of have to price it backwards. Okay, what's my case price? Say it's $4,000 on Bowman, which was retail. So big breakers are going to get, wholesale pricing for the most part. And then you back it down. And okay, the Cubs are the Cubs, and they have X amount of prospects and autos. We're going to price them at $250. Well, the Oakland A's, don't have any autographs on the checklist. And I'm just spitballing here. I think they do, but say they don't, and they don't have any top prospects, they're going to be $40. So that's kind of, so, I mean, you could get a wide range of pricing on pick your team breaks. And there's Dan with the answer. Cliff says, I enjoy watching breaks, but I can't bring myself to buy in. I enjoy opening packs myself. Totally agree. For me, it's I would say out of necessity, but it's really not. The reason I am in breaks is because I don't want to spend, it's a gamble. And as long as all cards ship, I'm all about it. If it's a product like Bowman, because, either I can't find it in retail or it isn't off, like Bowman Draft doesn't have a retail version. So with Bowman Draft, I don't want to spend $300, $350 on a hobby box just to pull 6 or 7 Cubs cards. If I spend half of that price, I get all of the Cubs from an entire case of 12 boxes. And I have better odds at pulling an autograph and all that. So it's more of for me, it's a team collector, wanting the hits for less than what I would pay either on the second. And, some people say, well, just buy the singles. It's part gamble too, where, I may pull a $10 auto, but I may pull $1,000 auto. I just learned that Bo accents the second syllable in reputable. I hit the first one hard. Reputable. I think that's how I say it, right? Reputable. You know what when I say vehicle, like I don't enunciate the H. I had a teacher in junior high and she hit that H hard. She hit the H hard. Vehicle. It was like angry. It was like, I'm mad at this word. I'm angry. It was like with force. Vehicle. Reputable. Oh, I skipped ahead in the chat. Where am I at? Card Hobbyist is talking to Bearded Bookworm. I do cheap breaks on Wednesday nights, random retail packs, 3 random teams for less than $5, not including shipping. No, absolutely. Oh, and I should probably put that on the screen. There you go. So check that out. I may, is this on YouTube? I may have to jump in just for some fun because, when I buy into breaks, like, Bowman and all that, that's for like cards that I wouldn't, normally buy. But I like getting into Herman's breaks just because it's fun. And this sounds fun. And you have some fun. There's entertainment. You have to put some value on the entertainment alone, and you get some cards you want. Let's see. Cliff says Angels, Yankees, Rays are always higher than Royals, Brewers, Rockies. And yeah, and that can change at the, next, Rays, right? 4 years ago, the Rays were along with the Royals, Brewers, and Rockies, because there was no Wander Franco. So that, depending on the prospect and the players, that can change year by year. Leo says show 609 should be called the Sammy. Be dedicated. I like it. Steph says bidets are easy enough to install. Let's see. Dedicate that show to Sammy Sosa. I like it. Steph was in attendance for Sosa's 600. That's awesome. Let's see. Jenny's heading into the card show. Enjoy. Get some awesome deals. Herman says Bo's basement is starting to look like the Sneakerheads Addicts last year. That's when I took the photo, and I took a photo of this behind me, and I tweeted it out this morning, and I thought, this is what we all laugh at with, people sitting on a bunch of retail. And hey, we may look back and laugh at me. Remember Bo's Bowman U shelf back in June? I had to look at the freaking calendar. Couldn't remember what month it was. Remember that when and now they're everywhere in retail boxes, and that could happen. I'm bullish on Bowman U, as you well know, but I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. So you never know. Steph says, "Yeah, I need to go work the Arlington show." Yeah, the Dallas Card Show's smaller show is this weekend. The breaks caught you live. Finally, my coffee is usually ready after the show. Cheers to that. Fun fact, I used to have a blue nose pit named Bo. Very cool. Bo is a pretty popular dog name. I had when I had a paper route in junior high, it was on Pleasant View Drive. And there was the Dickenses. They were not on my paper route, but they lived right across the street from where I delivered one of the houses on my route. And they had a little like Maltese or something named Bo. And so Bo would be out, Bo the dog would be out in the driveway barking at Bo the paper boy. And I'd ride my bike up the driveway across the street to deliver the paper. Bo crossed the street, the dog's barking. And then Mrs. Dickens would come out, Bo! And I'd every time, got me every time. I'd turn around and look, oh, hi, it's Bo the paper boy and Bo the dog. Let's see. Card Hobbyist, yes, my breaks are on YouTube streams. Very cool. I'll check that out on Wednesday. Steph says, like Jenny headed into the show, will be in Arlington taking ComC submissions and answering questions. Very cool. So I'm caught up on the chat. Let's talk bad breakers. Another one emerges. CardFanz. They are at CardFanz, and that's fans with a Z on Twitter. So let's go to the share screen. Oh, I get to play around in StreamYard. So we want to share screen. And we want Chrome tab. So let's go to their Twitter. And here we go. So it's CardFanz. This is their Twitter page at CardFanz. They are Sturban75 on eBay, so just avoid that. So let's go down to, here it is. How about this for capturing a monster during our player break this evening? So this was a Series 2 player break, and this is the card that was pulled. Okay. Raymond for the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, again, this is a player break. So who does Raymond go for? Well, guess what? The card number is 867. It's an ultra short print variation of who? Wander Franco. That's Wander Franco. And that's Raymond's head. And yes, it does say Raymond, Tampa Bay Rays. Hey, I'm saying that's a Wander Franco card. But Wander Franco did not, the person who had Wander Franco in the break did not get that card. Why? Because they say it's Raymond the mascot. What's even worse is that it went to the house. That card went to the house. But okay, let's share the screen again. Let's go to their eBay. Okay. So this is and this is a current listing they have up. Where am I at here? Where's the listing at? So this is a Wander Franco player break. So this is a player break. This is a player break. Wander Franco. And where is oh, look at this. All cards, and that's wrong. Pulled of the team from the product listed. So that's incorrect. That's false because it's a player break, not a team break. But all cards ship. All cards ship. Doesn't say anything about, well, all cards except for the ultra short prints ship. So John brings up a great point. What's the checklist say? Which I did not. Let's take a look at Topps Series 2 checklist, because and John does bring up a good point. And you know, if you were to fight this case in a courtroom, you know, there's so many like little technicalities that I can see somebody siding with both the breaker and you know, the person who bought in the Wander Franco spot, claiming that it should be a Wander Franco card. So what's the checklist say? John asks. I'm bringing that up right now. Card Hobbyist brings up another good point. Did they offer a spot to buy Raymond? No. Raymond was not. I don't believe Raymond is on the checklist because it's an ultra short print. And with these ultra short prints, they don't show up on the checklist right away. In Topps Series 2, I think they're still, you know, finding the ultra short prints. I think there's 5. I think there's a Joey Votto, Mr. Redlegs. I think Pete Alonso has one. So I'm scrolling through the checklist just to see, is there going to be a short print on here? And I think essentially this is going to be like what, you know, what we go by. So what card was that? 587? No. Let's see. Base rookies, base image variations. So those are super short prints. Do they even have the ultra? Because I think this is what, an ultra short print. I tell you what, I'm still scrolling. There's so many cards, man. There's so many cards in these Topps checklists. Geez, Zooks. So those are inserts. Let's just type in the search Raymond. And that's a user review. Raymond Culpepper. So there's no Raymond, and this I'm looking at Cardboard Connection. So we've got 18 Wander Francos, insert, Sweet Shades autograph, insert, 87 Topps insert, home field advantage, insert. Huh. Okay. So it's not on Cardboard Connection. So yeah, this is, now we're in tricky territory. Like, well, what is it? Here's my thoughts before I keep looking. Card Hobbyist adds, if they did not offer a spot, it should go to Franco. That's what I agree with. And Steph says Topps never mentions SPs on their checklist. Yeah, it's usually you have to look at Cardboard Connection and Beckett, and I don't know, I don't know what breakers go by. They probably go by the Topps checklist. I don't know. So let's see. Herman said Ryan, and he's talking about Ryan Cracknell, Trader Cracks. So we'll go to Beckett. John says ultra stupid. Contrived scarcity is one of the hobby's silly points. I agree. So Herman says as Raymond. Interesting. Cracknell tweeted about this to clarify. Okay, so let's go in and see. Low Roller says, how do you find out of short print and sports cards? That's a great question. Typically how I look at it is, so I'm looking, this is a great question. So especially products I don't know, like soccer, Soccer, when I get soccer, I actually look through and I put those in quarter boxes. Hockey and NASCAR, I just stuff in a box and put them on a shelf. They get no love from me. Soccer, I do. That's for my buddy John over in the UK. So I go to, I usually just type in, I Google, say 2022 Top Series 2. I'll Google it, and usually either Beckett or Cardboard Connections checklist page pops up on the Google search, and I'll just go one or the other. I think Beckett actually puts like the photo gallery in, and so that's very helpful. Let's see. Steph says for Topps, the tiny CMP card on the back is different than base. Heritage has the card variation listed usually. Let's see, for recent releases. Yeah, I think that started back in 2019 or 2020. Abraham should have done a photo shoot with the actual mascot. Instead, it looks like a clown Photoshop. I agree with that. If you were to buy a sealed factory set, do the short prints come in it? No, they do not. Let's see. So there's the tweet from Trader Cracks. For some reason, I can't click on that. But you may. So before I move on, and I have not read Ryan's tweet yet. I'm going to get to that. Here's my thought on why I think this is terrible, terrible business. First off, these dudes, CardFanz, are getting torn up on social media. They look bad. John says it is. It is open to interpretation. Here's why I don't like it. This is why I don't like it. I hate cards going to the house. Unless it's clearly specified, which it is not clearly specified. Nowhere in their eBay listing does it say some cards may go to the house. In fact, their eBay listing says all cards ship. All. And they use many exclamation points to really prove that point that all cards ship. And I don't think that statement is up for interpretation, because all means all. What's your definition of all? Well, all is all. So that's why they're bad breakers, because there's no clarity. It seems like they're going rogue and pulling a backyard breakers style scenario. Hockey usually has French text or a non-game day photo, player in a tunnel walking into the stadium. Well, that's good to know. I'll keep an eye on that. Card wasn't added to the checklist because Topps didn't disclose its existence before release, which basically happens all the time with like the super short prints and the ultra short prints. Good morning, a little late. What's up, Ricardo? Leo says SSP 1 in 451 packs. I think this is like an SSSP. I don't think this is an SSP. I think this is what they call an ultra short print. So where am I at? We're going to go to the Beckett checklist and see what they have. So yeah, like I said, I don't like this whole scenario because they state in their eBay listing, and this was an eBay break, that all cards ship, but then they say, oh, well, some of the short prints may go to the house after the fact, which is not disclosed in advance ahead of time. So that's my big point of contention, because I agree. Is it a Wander Franco card, or is it a Wander Franco card, or is it a Raymond mascot card? That's certainly up for interpretation. And I could make a point, and I think any of us could make a point, that yes, it's a Wander Franco card, or yes, it's a Raymond mascot card. That's not really the point of contention here. It's the gray area, and it's the shadiness behind their listing, where it's a player break, all cards ship, and that's not the case. They keep some for the house. Let's see. Steph says all exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Cards ship for those that were paid objects in the mirror, right? Let's see. There's Victor, the rookie card specialist. It's a really ugly card. I agree. That's why here's the comment of the day. Ken says, that's why I only break with friends. Absolutely. That's why my breakers of choice, Real Breaks, they're awesome dudes. I trust them. basically how I look at it, and I didn't, somebody else said this a while back, and it really goes to show you, it really explains how I would choose a breaker. Go with a breaker, do business with a breaker that you would trust to open the box, the case off camera, and that you trust that you'll get what was actually pulled. And that's, you know, the breakers that I choose to break with. I know that if they didn't film live, and they would stand to their, they wouldn't pull any shenanigans. So I think that's a great point. Ricardo says, wow, pretty dirty. Seems like pretty standard with all these new breakers doing scammy stuff. Unfortunately, that, yes, is the case. It is. It's probably referring to base cards. This isn't a base card. Let's see. Check the short print on eBay for your card. That's, yeah, you could check eBay as well. Let's see. So let's see. Is this on Beckett variations? So we've got short print variations. Do they do a super short print? We've got ultra short print. Okay. So okay, let's do a share screen. So I'm on the Beckett website, and you guys have probably already seen. So let's do this. Let's share the screen, and it adds zero clarity. Zero clarity added. So we've got ultra short print variations, full list to be announced. We've got Mr. Met. Let's scroll down. There it is. Raymond on Wander Franco's body. So what does that tell us? Nothing. Nothing. It's still, we don't know. Is it a Raymond card or is it a Wander Franco card? We've got a Phillies ultra short print with Bryce Harper's body, Mr. Redlegs with Joey Votto's body, and Mr. Met on Pete Alonso's body. So that's what it is. So now let's go back to, let's see. Let's go to the Trader Cracks and bring that tweet up from Ryan, and see, Ryan's like the checklist guru. Unfortunately, he made it a little gray for us on the Beckett write-up. Herman says, my worst fear is always that the stream will drop. It's happened once, but luckily it was in one with all the people I knew. Absolutely. That's my biggest fear when I do Hobby Hotline, or like, I don't care if it's Hobby Evolution. Like, I care. Like, I don't want you guys that are enjoying your coffee to have my Wi-Fi act like crap. But if I'm on like a podcast, I don't want that to do. So let's share that screen again. So now we are on Ryan's Twitter page, Ryan Cracknell at Trader Cracks. Awesome dude. So he says, are we good? Is this clear enough for the Series 2 Mascot Ultras? Found the last SSP. So 2022 Top Series 2 SP and SSP galleries are done. Up to 3 of the mascots. There might be a couple more. That might be all. So there it is. And that's Raymond, Tampa Bay Rays. The base is Wander Franco. So let's see. Does he have any other thoughts on this? Dukes of Hazzard. Okay. So let's just do this. And I will look in the background. Let's see. I'm trying to find where he may. Where am I at? The reason why was because I was not on Ryan's actual Twitter page. Let's see. Where are we at in the chat? Herman says if it was a mascot card, it would have it on its number. Let's see. It's listed as Raymond on Franco's body as a description. 50 years from now, they'll still be dating the Kennedy assassination. 50 days from now, they won't be discussing Raymond. I think you're exactly right. You are exactly right. You know what? Next year we'll be looking back. Remember the Wander Franco rookie card debate from Bowman's Best? Remember the Wander Franco mascot debate? So here is Okay. I'm still scrolling. I thought, let's do tweets and replies. Where are we at in the chat? Steph said, yeah, who would end a Hobby Hotline episode early? By the way, Hobby Hotline is coming up at 10 a.m. Central. Check it out on YouTube. I'm not sure who is on this today's show, but check Hobby Hotline out today. At the end of the day, it doesn't much matter. Idiots will still break with them. Otherwise, Backyard Breakers would be gone. And yeah, Backyard Breakers have actually received more business, which sucks. Can we get Victor to weigh in on the MASCOT rookies? That would be great. Victor, what are your thoughts? Is this a Wander Franco? And I think I know Victor's stance on the whole rookie card aspect of it. But I would be curious, would this go in the Wander Franco collection or the Raymond collection? You have to pick one or the other. Is it going in the MASCOT collection or is it going in the Wander Franco collection? Oh, we've got a great lineup. Herman, Drew, and Brody. Very cool. So yes, Herman going to be on Hobby Hotline. That is awesome. Let's see. Low Roller says they need to go back on basic sports cards like 80 to 90 since there's so many inserts and parallels. For the collector, yeah, but for the company, they want to rake in that dough because they can print more cards and make more money. Let's see. So I'm going to tweets and replies, and just to see if there's any interesting. Okay, I don't think I'm going to find anything. Okay, so here is the thread. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, so here's the thread. We're going to share the screen. Ryan Cracknell. Topps doesn't normally include flagship variations on their checklist, leaving them to be surprises. When I add this one to the checklist later today, it'll be as Raymond, as that's what's on the card. So Matt, in Matt Suhey is actually the person who had the Wander Franco spot in this break. And he responds, that is fine, but it is clearly a variation of Wander Franco's Top Series 1 rookie, number 215, making it a Wander Franco variation. Not to mention, it is unethical for a breaker to keep a card from a break where the product is paid for. I agree with that statement. I think it's up for debate whether it should be in the Wander Franco spot. Again, there was no Raymond MASCOT, so that should be, at the very least, how I would want my breaker to handle this is it's randomized and it goes to somebody that bought into the break. That's how it should be done, not kept for the house by the breaker themselves. I think that's a crap move, unless disclosed beforehand, which this was not the case. Ivan, watch the breaks drops in. I'd argue at least it needs to be random. And there you go. It needs to be random among all spot holders in their break. Their eBay break listings state all cards ship. Definitely. Not we keep cards we can't determine ownership of. I'd be reporting this if I were the buyer. 100%. I agree on all accounts with that tweet from Ivan. Ryan adds, big can of worms that illustrates two important things. Number one, wording and breaks are key. What ships, what doesn't, what happens with surprises. And I agree with that. And I'll add, and I'll just play devil's advocate. Let's just break down those sentences. Wording and breaks are key. 100% agree. What ships, what doesn't, what happens with surprises. Yes, all of that needs to be disclosed beforehand. And I believe if it's not disclosed beforehand in that eBay listing, it should be randomized. Breakers shouldn't be keeping cards without disclosing. It has to be disclosed. Number two, in this age of instant information, sets having surprises like this cause more confusion than excitement. And I 100% agree with that statement. Ivan adds, big can of worms that apparently is worth one's entire reputation in business when, regardless of the thinnest of lines that could be possibly be drawn to justify such action, every single collector alive says the card belongs to the Wander spot. And he adds, I do see your point. And yes, I'm not going to break. I would never break with these guys now because of this. And I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands of other collectors that would choose not to do business with said breaker. Ryan says, I personally think randoming it to all involved is most fair. It's not a Wander card. Would a Julio Rodriguez go to Lamont Wade? That's a good point. Or Witt to the Ohtani spot. Lots of mismatched numbers out there. Good business would be making sure someone involved got it, though. So what Ryan is referring to, if you're not aware, Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt Jr. have short prints in the set, but they have the same number as Lamont Wade and Shohei Ohtani. Much like in 2018, the Acuna short print was like Ryan Sheriff of the St. Louis Cardinals. So it was the same number as the base card in the set. Let's see. I'm going to go back to Ryan down here, where and I think that's just somebody else. That's just a debate back and forth. I think basically I think that's his, and I think we got the gist of it there. So, and I agree. I agree with both Ivan and Ryan in that exchange. And I definitely think the very least the breaker should do is randomize. If it's decided, maybe even take a vote among those that were in said break. Of course, the other guys are going to say randomize it because that means we get a chance at it. So I guess that's a poor idea. Don't do that. But if you decide not to do, not to give it to the Wander Franco, I'd be pissed if I was the Wander Franco. It's a very valuable card. But at the very least, randomize it. Don't keep it and put it in your eBay store. That's a crap move. So I think. How do you do it? If you decide it's not, I think the last thing you should do is keep it for yourself. That's bad business. And look at the black eyes that you're getting on Twitter and Facebook, because this is all over Facebook scammer groups as well. You're getting a black eye. You're being called a bad breaker. I think they're bad breakers for doing this. They state in the eBay description, all cards ship. And they use a bunch of exclamation points, which I hate. But yet all cards are not shipping. And nowhere do they disclose, well, if we can't decide where we're keeping it for the house. Bad business. Bad business. I think we can debate all day long. Is it a Wander Franco card? Is it not a Wander Franco card? You can sway me both ways. I think, my opinion, it should go to the Wander Franco spot. But I can see why it wouldn't be considered a Wander Franco card. I get that. I get it. I'm not, but if I was in Matt's position being in the Wander Franco spot, I'd be upset. Absolutely. But I'd more so because the breaker's keeping it to the house. That's just bad business. That's what I'm most, upset about in this whole situation. Let's go to the chat real quick. Leo says at the bare minimum, randomizer, 100% agree. Let's see. Victor says, seems like an image variant. If the card back and card number are the same as the Franco base, then it would qualify as a rookie. I like that. Low Roller says, did the breakers scam you? They did not. No, I was not in this break. The gentleman who had the Wander Franco spot, his name was Matt. But I think it was unfair for everybody in that break. Let's see. So they ship it back to themselves. Problem solved. Let's see. Nanny state stuff, and I'm considered liberal. Let's see. The break saying every collector alive invalidates any point he is trying to make. That's true. That's true. Every collector alive is false. Not every collector alive has the same thought. Victor is with us. What is up, Victor? It'll be a landslide. Something amazing cards. What is up? Good morning. Long-time watcher, first-time commenter. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. Let's see. Where am I at here? Leo says they should randomize whether player buy-in or randomizer amongst the buy-in group. If the disclaimers are in Comic Sans, then it doesn't count by law. Cliff says it's a question of morals. Absolutely. And I think it shows a lot. And this breaker, CardFanz on Twitter, has been pretty silent. They were ratioed on their tweet, and pretty much everybody on Twitter. Yeah, there were some people that there were some people in the comments that said it's open for debate, but most people said it should go to the Wander Franco spot. John says, Cliff, I consider all of this gambling, which negates any morality. And Cooter adds, do you have a topic to celebrate 600 episodes? Please, nothing involving mascots, V-Friends, or Josh Luber's lunch plans. I don't have any topic. Actually, what I'll probably share is just kind of a recap of my weekend. Maybe we get this podcast rolling. I'll have to ask Scott if he has any. I'm like, hey, do you have any former Cubs that you can just call up right now and let's just do a dry run with it? So basically, when I talk about this podcast, so Scott worked in the Cubs front office for 30 years. And so he was director of baseball operations for years. He had many different titles over the 3 decades he worked for the team. So he wants to do a podcast, and he wants to do it in the style of, if anybody's listened to, rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. And he's like, this is how I want to tailor. This is how I want to tailor the podcast. And I want to have like former players or anybody involved with the team through the years. And we just have a conversation, and we talk about things that they probably couldn't have talked about when they were playing, find out the dirt. So I love it. I love the idea, and he's got the connections, working with the team for so long. So I'm the one that's been dragging my feet on all this, and I'm like, yeah, because I don't know the technology. But now that I'm getting used to StreamYard, I'm like, okay, I think we can make this work, through StreamYard. So he keeps bugging me. He every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he calls me or texts me, hey, we need to get that podcast going. So so today's the first step, I think, that will at least hash something out. So I'll talk about that. That'll be a fun 600th episode. Let's see. John says, yeah, Tom, the Luber thing is sort of comical. Focusing on the farm animal cards really is the dream of any CVO. John says, Vince McMahon is still with WWE. He owns a majority of it, not going anywhere. Low roller. Yeah, so basically what happened is on an interim basis, Stephanie McMahon, Vince did not resign. Stephanie McMahon, he's taking Stephanie McMahon took basically a leave of absence a few weeks ago. Now there's some stuff coming up regarding Vince McMahon. There's basically an investigation into potential wrongdoing and allegations. So he is basically himself taking a leave of absence, and Stephanie McMahon is coming off a leave of absence. And she is basically the interim CEO at this time. So he's still there. In fact, he was on SmackDown last night. John says he owns the company, dude. He's still calling the shots regardless of the title. Absolutely. And he actually has a ton of power. Even though they're a publicly traded company, he has like majority of the voting rights with the company. It's actually a pretty rare case for publicly traded companies. So I don't think Vince is going anywhere. It was kind of a weird it was a weird segment on SmackDown, which typically I don't watch, but I saw the tease that Vince McMahon is going to be appearing on SmackDown tonight, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good PR move, but when has Vince McMahon ever decided what a good or a bad PR move is? And basically all he came out and said was he thanked the crowd in Minnesota, and he came out and said, our motto or whatever is then, now, and forever. And the most important word, together. And that was it. And some people are in interpretation is the word of the day. Some are interpreting that was his basically farewell speech. But some are interpreting as this is here's how I interpret that. In my initial interpretation of Vince's was like basically a middle finger to everybody, that's challenging him, because he gives no Fs. Vince McMahon gives no Fs, and he's going to come out no matter what he's charged with. He is going to come out and stick both of his middle fingers in your face and laugh and say, challenge me. So I saw it more of as a middle finger to his challengers as opposed to anything else. So he ain't going anywhere. I agree with John. He's not going anywhere. Cliff says he's got to be old by now. He is. He's had a lot of work done. He's probably pushing 80. Let's see. Yeah, he's got to be close to 80. Let's see. Let's Google Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, born in 1945. So he is 76 years old. Let's see. The real Vince McMahon is a cryogenic chamber next to Ted Williams in Arizona. Current version is a hologram. I like it. Low Roller talks about the WWE Prism crash. I think hobby boxes are down to $400. 0 Fs, Bo. That's what the kids say. 0 Fs. Vince gives 0 Fs. Yeah, Prism hobby boxes are just crashing. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Back at tomorrow morning, probably about the same time, 8 a.m. 76 is 75 Canadian. Probably around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll recap my weekend and give you any update on a potential Cubs podcast that we may start. So have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Don't forget, our buddy Herman is on Hobby Hotline today, 10 a.m. Central Time. Check it out, Hobby Hotline on YouTube. Until tomorrow, have a great day.